Okay, just finished time for the next A to Z mini-rework. My thoughts, ideas, changes, so on and so forth. We are on NAUTILUS, the Titan of the Depths. One of my personal favorite champions. Style, mostly abilities, difficulty 2, crowd control 3, toughness 3, and everything else zilch. Insanely true. A lonely legend as old as the first piers sunk in Bilgewater. The armored Goliath known as NAUTILUS roams the dark waters off of the coast of Blue Flames Isles. Driven by a forgotten betrayal, he strikes without warning, swinging his enormous anchor to save the wretched and drag the greedy to their doom. It is said he comes for those who forget to pay the Bilgewater tithe. Pulling them down beneath the waves with him. An ironclad reminder that none can escape the depths. Yeah? Okay, abilities. First, Staggering Blow. Nautilus's basic attack deal increased physical damage and roots his target briefly. Staggering Blow cannot trigger more than once every few seconds on the same target. Yes, this used to last, like a full second. Now it lasts a quarter of a second, and it really ain't that good anymore. Dredge Line. Nautilus hurls his anchor forward. If it hits a champion, he drags both himself and the opponent close together. If it hits terrain, Nautilus instead pulls himself to the anchor. The cooldown of Dredge Line is reduced by half, and half the mana cost is refunded. That's if he hits terrain. So I think it definitely is one of his better abilities. Titan's Wrath. Nautilus surrounds himself with dark energies, gaining a shield that blocks incoming damage. While the shield persists, his attacks apply a damage over time effect to enemies around his target. Riptide. Nautilus slams the ground, causing the earth to explode around him in a set of 3 explosions. Each explosion damage and slows enemies. Depth Charge. Nautilus fires a shockwave into the earth that chases an opponent. The shockwave rips up the earth above it, knocking enemies into the air. When it reaches the opponent, the shockwave erupts, knocking his target into the air and stunning them. Honestly, I love Nautilus. I think he has more CC in his kit than like anyone else in the game, except for maybe like Leona. Has like a point and click stun that can knock up several targets. A E that slows and can slow several targets. His W gives him a shield, and his Q also knocks him up, plus gets you in range for his auto attack passive, which, roots you. The only real change that I would make is that I would make his basic attack root last longer, but I would only make it last longer if he has previously hit you. Such as if he, Qs you, then hits his E, and that AoE hits you, then he auto attacks you. That will make the root last longer because you were hit by his E. Kind of like Jhin, where if you're hit by his skill shot, it will just slow, but if you were previously attacked, it'll root you. Where let's say he ults you and then the ult knocks you up and then he lands his Q on you, he pulls you close and then he auto attacks you, and now the auto attack lasts longer, or the root lasts longer because you were hit by his ult just previously. His Q, if anything, I'd make his Q a bit easier to see the AoE of it, because there's been quite a few times where this thing spins as it goes, so it's really difficult to tell. Yeah, see how it spins? It's really difficult to tell what if you dodged it or not. Sometimes you're just I did not get hit by that or something like that, which that happens with all Hooks characters. Blitzcrank, I swear I've dodged about twice as many hooks as I should have, but the game just grabs me and pulls me over. So honestly, it's not that's a thing with him specifically, but it is just kind of annoying in my opinion when you think you dodge an ability and then it just yanks you to him. His W, I think, is perfectly fine. His E, I think, is perfectly fine. Now, I am a big fan of not having any point-and-click abilities, so I don't know how I'd make his R work without making it point-and-click, though. I was thinking maybe, you can point-and-click as long as you've already hit the opponent. Maybe, you use your E, hit someone, and then you can use your R. But then that kind of makes what I said previously about his passive redundant, because it just wouldn't work as well. So I think that honestly, either just making it kind of like a skill shot almost, kind of like, think of it like Braum alt, but the thing is, like, I don't want it to just be a repeat Braum alt. Is where, like, he clicks, or like he has a line, he slams down his anchor, and instead of like following where the target is like this, it would be a skill shot that would like blast up until it got to its like ending destination, and then it would rocket up. But that would literally be the exact same thing as Braum alt, only it wouldn't leave the AoE afterward, and it would knock more targets up. And like, I just don't like the fact that it would be the exact same thing. So honestly, I would still, I guess, keep it the same, but I do dislike point and click abilities, especially point and click CC, in my opinion, is just not balanced. So if anything, as I said, his QWE all fine, his passive should get buffed when his alt should get nerfed, and it should not be a point and click. Let's head over to the skins. I really like a lot of his skins, except for this one. It's trash. This one's also not great. I love his Astro skin. His Warden skin is downright amazing, and his Worldbreaker skin's awesome. So these two skins really aren't that great, but besides that, I hate his Abyssal skin the most, to be completely honest. It's just him again, but with like worse armor, in my opinion. Like, I'd much rather look like this than look like this. I guess like the anchor's cooler, but okay. So I don't really like Abyssal. I don't think Abyssal really looks that good. I give it a solid like 2 out of 10. Sub-Earth, Subterranean, is okay, but it's really isn't amazing in my opinion. It's kind of like just a low-budget mecha skin, where it's like he's just a robot, but it sucks. So I give that one a solid like 4 out of 10. Astro Nautilus, I love this skin. I just love the animations that it does, and like how he walks around, like it looks like he's floating. I'd give that skin a solid like 7 out of 10. His Warden skin, in my opinion, is just completely beautiful. It looks like it'd be something out of like Dark Souls. I hope anyone got that reference. or Light Souls, to further the reference. But give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's a very nice skin. And his Worldbreaker, I'd give this solid 9 out of 10. It's a very nice skin. And his Worldbreaker, I think, is good, but I do not think it is as good as the Warden skin. And that, it's definitely nice, but it just isn't nice enough, in my opinion. And this is the skin that I would give a solid 8 out of 10, because it's just not good enough. Much better. Wait, I own his Worldbreakers? I did not. I was unaware I even owned that skin. But, yeah. So, Warden the best, second is Worldbreaker, then is Astro, and then this just goes in order. But I actually really do like his basic skin too, to be completely honest. So then a review on his abilities real quick. Nerf his Q, nerf his passive, keep his QW the same, buff his passive, make this last longer if he's already hit something, and somehow turn his ult into not a point and click, even though I have no idea how you do that. Then his overview is actually very honest and very true. And with that, I'm going to thank you all very much for watching this A to Z mini-rework, my thoughts, ideas, changes, so on and so forth. If you agree or disagree with anything that I may have said, please leave a comment down below and I will gladly get back to you. I love constructive criticism. I will gladly work with any constructive criticism ever. So thank you all very much, and I'm going to bid you all adieu. Goodbye.
I live inside my own world of make-believe. Kids screaming in the cradles.